So welcome back everybody to another tier list. Welcome to the hybrids tier list. A tier list where we are going to look at all of the hybrids in the game, from common all the way to legendary, not about how strong they are, but how worth it they are. Our tiers are over here. Musket, which, I mean, you just have to get that creature. It's just so good. Great. An investment creature. Like, let's say it's like really good later on, but in the beginning it's a little bit bad. Outclassed. There is another creature that is simply better than it for either cheaper or a similar price to it. And completely terrible. Never get this creature. It's completely irrelevant. So before we begin, can we please like and subscribe, because I spent quite a while on this and my voice is dying. Thank you. So let's begin by ranking our first creature, the Alangosaurus. Now if we take a look at the Alangosaurus' Paleo GG, it is a creature that is made from Alanqua and Majangosaurus, the two of the easiest creatures in the game to get. You are going to get Majangosaurus and Alanqua from just playing the game. And the Alangosaurus itself is a pretty good creature. At level 10, it is enough to one-shot and is enough to two-shot pretty much every common creature, and it's enough to one-shot quite a lot of like the lower level ones, which makes the Alangosaurus pretty good. You also get it to level 40 and it becomes pretty much stronger than a level 40 super rare, which is why Alangosaurus is going into my great category, because it is incredibly good for when you are battling, let's say, in the common events. And next up, Labyrinthosaurus. Again, Labyrinthosaurus is another creature that is made from creatures that you can literally get for free. It is also just better than the Alangosaurus. The only thing that it is slightly worse in is that it's a bit harder to get, because these Labyrinthodontia is an event creature, so you have to wait for its event, and if you don't get it, good luck. And Argentinosaurus, like, they both cost more DNA than Alanqua and Majangosaurus, which is why most people never get the Labyrinthosaurus, but I do say that it is very good. At level 40, a Labyrinthosaurus has 1170 health and 404 attack, making it just as strong as a level 30 legendary. And that is why Labyrinthosaurus is going just below Alangosaurus in the great tier. And next up, Limerichus. Do I even have to talk about Limerichus? Let's just talk about it just in case. Limerichus is a creature that is made from Linosceles and Coloborhynchus. Now the first thing you are going to notice is that Coloborhynchus is an amber creature, which makes it quite difficult to get, even though it technically only costs 200 amber, which isn't that much. It is also poor in stats. Its attack stat is far worse than Alangosaurus and Labyrinthosaurus. Its health stat is worse than Labyrinthosaurus, and it's quite expensive at 1490 DNA cost. The creature is just poor, and not to mention there is another pterosaur hybrid that is better than it in every way, which is why Limerichus is going in completely terrible. Never get this creature. It is absolutely not worth it. The next creature we're going to be talking about is Pelecanipteryx. Now this guy, I believe, for a first-time player, for someone who is new and someone who is going up through the ranks, it is a must get. And let me explain. Pelecanipteryx is the strongest common hybrid, despite costing 2030 DNA and being made from creatures. Well, Pelecanimimus costs amber, and Hatzegopteryx is the most expensive common at 200 DNA. I would say that the Pelecanipteryx is incredibly worth it because, first of all, look at these stats: 500 attack almost, and almost 1300 health, making it very strong at level 40. The reason why I believe that this is a must get is because of this creature over here, the Pelecactylus, which is made from a Pelecanipteryx and a bit of 2-Pandactylus sDNA, which you will get as you play the game. For my profile especially, Pelecactylus has been huge because everybody struggles with pterosaurs. Pterosaurs are incredibly hard to get, like good pterosaurs, very difficult to get. And that's why everyone always struggles on the events, ask you to use only pterosaurs, because you usually only have maybe 4 or 5 incredible ones. With Pelecanipteryx, you can make Pelecactylus, which means that you are going to get several. You're going to get maybe even 10 level 10s, which means you can get 5 level 20s, and level 20s are as good as level 40 legendaries. So there really is no reason not to get this guy. Both of these creatures are going in the must-get tier. And that is going to be it for our common hybrids. Moving on now to the rare hybrids, and we're going to start off with Carnoraptor. In the past, at least, Carniraptor was an amazing creature. It costs only 7,730 DNA, and it was made from 2 rare creatures, and it has amazing stats. 2,500 health and almost 1,000 attack. It is a very good creature, and once its hybrid Dimetric harness was added, it seemed like Carniraptor would be invincible as one of the best hybrids ever to get. And as a matter of fact, this Dimetric harness guy is the best super hybrid to buy if your purpose is selling for DNA. So there is also that. However, there is one factor that makes the Carniraptor quite poor, and that is both of its ingredients are amber market only creatures. And basically what this means is you are going to have to spend 40,000 amber on each of them, which is 80,000 in total, in order to get your Dimetric harness. Luckily, Carnotaurus has recently been mostly available in your collector's exchange, which is quite good, which means you only need to spend 40,000 DNA, but that is the reason why I'm going to be putting Carniraptor in the outclass tier, because of a creature that simply does everything that Carniraptor does, but better. And this is also going to be applied for Dimetric harness. And we might as well skip straight to that creature right here, Spinoraptor. I believe that this creature is great, both it and its hybrid Spinotosuchus, and let me explain why. In recent times, Spinoraptor has simply become a better version of Carniraptor. Yes, it costs 1,800 more DNA, but it has more health and more attack, and as well as both of its creatures being things that you can get from either events like the Spinosaurus or battle stages like the Utahraptor. I think Utahraptor is an event creature actually. The Spinotosuchus is its super hybrid, and this thing is also just like, it has worse health by 600, but it has 500 extra attack or something, which makes it quite amazing. And it doesn't cost all that much DNA, only 1,000 after you make it the first time. Incredible. And especially because these creatures are not locked behind the amber market paywall, you are going to get a very good creature for very, very cheap in the grand scheme of things, now that DNA is so easy to get. Next creature we are going to be looking at is going to be the Diplotator. Now personally, I think the Diplotator is a must get, and this is because of its super hybrid, the Diplosuchus. The Diplotator is made from Diploculus and Irritator, again 2 creatures that you can get without spending any amber. It only costs 4,000 DNA, which makes it the cheapest rare hybrid. Diplotator alone is not amazing. At level 40, it's similar to a level 40 legendary creature. I wouldn't really recommend keeping it at that level, but it makes, I reckon this is the best value super hybrid in the game. The Diplosuchus, some people hate because of the way that it levels up, okay? But at level 10, can I just say that this creature is absolutely amazing. 1,702 health, 716 attack. This is a creature that can take down some of the best dinosaurs at level 10. It's going to be super useful for you in tournaments, and you get so many of them because it only costs 750 DNA, and this is even cheaper now. Nowadays it's only 650 DNA, and I'm not sure if that's because this database is outdated. But the Diplosuchus has become super cheap as long as you don't have to get it towards level 40, where it becomes, it falls off a lot in how much stronger it becomes. You are golden. Level 10 Diplosuchus, it's absolutely amazing, and that's why it is in the must-get category. The next creature we're looking at is Nunosuchus. Now, Nunosuchus is a more expensive Diplotator with similar attack, a bit more health, but it doesn't have a super hybrid. I'm not even going to bother looking at the Paleo GG. This thing is going in outclass. It's going slightly above Carniraptor though, because it does have its merits, being more health. Unfortunately for the Nunogosaurus, the Tujangosaurus is locked behind the amber market, so there's also that. The next creature we're going to be taking a look at is Tapijalosaurus. Now, Tapijalosaurus is a very, very good creature. It only costs 8,520 DNA to hatch, which is very, very cheap for something as good as this. It is made from 2 creatures that you can get for free. Molothosaurus comes from an event, and Tapijara you get from the battle stages, and it has a super hybrid in Tapijalocephalus. You can just get a Tapijalosaurus to Evo 3, where it has so much, these stats are super good. You don't even have to get a level 40, and it's going to be amazing. However, I wouldn't say it's a must get, because your first super hybrid is probably going to be that Pelacactus anyways. But the Tapigelosaurus still is definitely a very good option. It's going in great at the very top of great. Next creature we are going to be looking at are these two creatures. Let me tell you, completely terrible and completely terrible. Both Pachyceratops and Ophicomimus cost quite a lot of DNA to make at about 8,500 each. We're not even going to look at their profiles because they're so bad, and they don't really do that much work for you. Like, I've maxed out both of these creatures on my main account, and they are very unfortunate indeed. Same can be said for Parasaura and the Ankylodocus, which unfortunately, the Ankylodocus has a generational fall off. Once upon a time, this creature was the best value super rare hybrid you could possibly get was Ankylodocus, because at level 40 it was amazing. However, in recent times, Ankylodocus has fallen off, and the reason is because of super hybrids. You see, it doesn't have one. So despite being made from creatures that you can get for free, Diplodocus from the event, from the battle stage, and Ankylosaurus from the event, not only does it cost 10,920 DNA to make, it doesn't have a super hybrid. It is outclassed by the following two creatures. Gigachilocephalus. Giganocephalus is an investment, and Gigachilocephalus is a good creature. Stegoceratops is an investment, and Monostegatops is a great creature. Now these creatures are quite amazing. Giganocephalus is your classic health tank. It has heaps of health, it has a little tiny bit of attack, enough to punish, but not really enough to do that much carrying. But the real deal maker, is that it has so much. It's so affordable, with only 8,490 DNA going to making one, and having a hybrid. The only problem with Giganocephalus is that it has Eupocephalus, and Eupocephalus costs Amber, which is a little unfortunate. However, Gigachilocephalus, I have to say, is a very good super hybrid. This thing has so much health, and even at level 20, I think this is the creature that scales the best at level 20. You need a level 20. If you have a level 10, make it a level 20 right away. And Stegoceratops has had quite a considerable glow up. It's similar in strength to Giganocephalus. It has more attack. It has slightly less health, but it's it's negligible. It costs a bit more DNA to make, but the difference is that its creatures are both very easy to get, no amber required. The Monostegatops is its super hybrid, and again, similar stats, slightly better than the Giganocephalus and the Gigachilocephalus. My god, it's so hard to differentiate between the hybrid and the super hybrid sometimes. And its damage, again, scales best at level 20. Get level 20, you gotta do it. And Metriolong, can I just say outclassed? Let's even put in completely terrible. Not only does Metriorhynchus cost Amber, the thing is bad. It's worse than Spinoraptor. It's worse than Carniraptor. I'd rather get Carniraptor than this. It's outclassed by that, and the Carniraptor is already outclassed by Spinoraptor, so this is a double outclass. It is completely terrible. Never get this. The next super rare hybrid we're looking at, oh no, Tropiogopterus. Now Tropiogopterus is completely outclassed by Tapigelosaurus, and is also outclassed by another creature, Suturipterus. Suturipterus is outclassed by Tapigelosaurus. This Tropiogopterus is outclassed by Suturipterus, which means, again, a double outclass, making it completely terrible. As you can see, the Tropiogopterus at level 40 has less health and less attack than Tapigelosaurus. As a matter of fact, it costs less DNA to make up for it, but this is just so incredibly bad. Why would you ever get this? And again, with the legendary, it has more stats and it doesn't cost that much DNA to make, but I would say still that this is not nearly as worth it, considering that Tapigelosaurus literally has a super hybrid that makes it infinitely better than this guy. Don't get these, please. And finally, for the super rares, Supranatitan. Unfortunately, that's going to be going in the outclassed as well, because Supranatitan does not have a hybrid. The Tyrannititan costs Amber, and it is now going to be outclassed by Spinoraptor because it doesn't have a hybrid. That means we can move on to our legendary hybrids. Starting with Alanogmius, it is good. The only issue is that you're going to need to get a Bananogmius, and I don't remember the last time that thing has ever had a tournament, so it's pretty rare to get. But if you do get it, pretty good creature. It's decent for 45,000. However, there is going to be something that does outclass that thing. So Alanogmius is going the outclass tier because of this guy right here. Cerazenosaurus. This guy is going at the top of the musket because it is amazing. Cerazenosaurus costs 48,000 DNA. This is 3,000 more than Alanogmius, by the way. It has almost 1,000 more attack. It has like 2,500 more health. And it's made from ingredients that are not rare at all. Therizinosaurus has an event that unlocks it if you're level 60 plus. Ceratosaurus is literally unlocked in a battle stage. You are going to get this guy, and this guy is going to be amazing. Musket. Next creature, Armor Matter. Armor Matter is a great creature. It is one of the best herbivores in the game. In fact, it is one of the best creatures in the game if we take a look at its stats. There's Armor Matter. It's made from Mosasaurus Gen 2, which recently had a tournament. Nodosaurus sometimes gets Clash of Titans. It's not incredibly rare. It's definitely a late game creature, I would say. But yeah, I mean, great. It kind of, actually, I don't know if it should be going in great. It should be going in investment, is it not? If you're late game, then this is a good creature. But in any other part of the game, it's kind of unrealistic to aim for an Armor Matter. So yeah, I think I'll put it in the investment tier. Next creature we're going to be looking at is Bagheraptodon or Bagosaurus, the hybrid of Bagheraptodon. Bagosaurus is made from two super legendaries, two tournament creatures. It is a great sweeper, I do have to say, but it does cost a lot of DNA. That being said, considering it's an amphibian and there aren't many amphibian options up here, we are going to have to put this guy in great. Because I mean, come on, who else are you going to compare it to? There are going to be a few of these creatures that I'm just going to be putting in the outclass right away. Those being Chromospinus and Glythornax. These guys are both, I mean, they're fairly good creatures on their day. Chromospinus is similarly strong to the Armor Matter. In fact, very similar stats. Costs a little bit less, but is still a lot. And the next guy, Glythornax, it costs 60,000 DNA. It's way worse. In fact, it's worse than Cerazenosaurus. This guy is clearly outclassed. As a matter of fact, we should put this guy in completely terrible. Never get this. You can get Chromospinus. It will do some things for your park, but it's not going to be as amazing as you would expect from a creature that costs this much. Next creature that's going to be going up is Cryloborginia, or whatever it's called. This thing, I mean, pure health tank, unfortunately not even that much health. It costs exactly the same. If we are calling Chromospinus outclass, this guy must be outclassed because of how little damage it does. I don't think this is good. Really, I don't think this is good. It's not even an investment. It is outclassed. In fact, every single pterosaur so far has been outclassed by this Tapigalosaurus guy. Again, this is outclassed. It doesn't do enough damage to be that good. It's just like, it's going to get outclassed by a couple of creatures later on in this tier list anyways. So yeah, Cryloborginia, so expensive, not that great, goes there. Next creature, Dracoceratops. Dracoceratops, and I have to say, this is very good. It's cheaper than Armor Matter by like 5,000 DNA, 4,000 DNA. It has similar levels of damage. It has like 300 less health. Who cares about 300 health? At that amount, when you have more than 10k, it doesn't really matter. Dracoceratops is going in the great tier. It is a great hybrid, you do have to say. And the next creatures, Indominus Rex and Indoraptor. Now, I don't think anybody would argue if I put these two in the musket category. I'm not going to look at the stats. Everybody knows about the stats of Indominus and Indoraptors. But the T-Rex and Velociraptor, you get them in battle stages. If you want to get max T-Rex Gen 2, you're going to have to do Gen 2 Fury. You're going to have to trade the Collector's Exchange. It's going to be tough. And that is just to make one of these guys. It's going to cost more DNA than Indominus. And you have to share the SDNA for these guys. If I do have to say something, is that if you are going to get the Indoraptor Gen 2, then don't get the Indoraptor. The only reason Indoraptor is good is because you're probably not going to have a level 40 Indominus Gen 2 until a very long time later. Next creature we are looking at is Coolosaurus. This guy is going to the outclassed tier because of a few creatures, but mainly it's just kind of mid. The Coolosaurus made from Sarcosuchus and Coolosuchus, where did it get the Saurus from? Costs 20,000 DNA to make and is mediocre at best. 3,864 health, 1,476 attack. It's actually comparable. It really is comparable to a Diplodocus at level 40. Which, considering how poor Diplodocus is, it does make it quite bad. You shouldn't get this guy. is going to be outclassed by a few creatures. So first off is going to be Osteoposaurus. This guy's an investment, and I'll tell you why. Osteoposaurus is a strange creature because when compared with Diplossuchus, it isn't better at level 10. Diplossuchus at level 10 is going to be better. Diplossuchus at level 20 is going to be better. But then it gets magical because at level 30, suddenly the Osteoposaurus is better. At level 40, the Osteoposaurus is miles better. And that is why it is an investment. It costs a lot of DNA, but if you get 4 of them and then get another 4 of them, you're going to have a great creature on your hands. Next 2 creatures, Priotrodon and Rajasaurus, outclassed. Now, why is this the case? Priotrodon used to be great. It used to be better than Indominus Rex. I mean, it still is better than Indominus Rex, despite costing 10,000 more. This thing used to be the pinnacle. It used to be the best creature in the game. Well, not anymore. It's still great value, I do have to say. However, it is indeed outclassed by Indominus Rex and Indominus Rex Gen 2 because those guys have super hybrids. And it's also outclassed by Cerazenosaurus. And Cerazenosaurus costs a very similar amount of DNA to this guy. So you're completely outclassed by 3 creatures. This guy, and this guy. You have to go in the outclass. And the same has to be said for Rajastega. I mean, Rajastega is just like an Indominus wannabe. It always has been. Rajastega has never been anything close to as good as Indominus. At level 40, as you can see right here, not comparable, these 2 creatures. It costs like 4,000 less DNA, but by the time you're maxing out these guys, 4,000 DNA is like chump change. So absolutely, we're going to be putting Rajastega in the outclassed here as well. The next creature we're looking at is Unarynchus. Now, Unarynchus, why wouldn't you get this thing? It is so cheap. Unisaurus and Rhamphorhynchus, you are gonna have them, alright? And it only costs 19,000 DNA, and it is just like, it's decent. It's not amazing, but you gotta say it is not bad, which is the reason why I'm gonna put it in great and not musket. It's obviously not musket, but it doesn't get outclassed either. You can get this guy, and it's gonna do its good job for you because the hybrids, the the herbivorous hybrids are few and far between. You're gonna have this guy playing up top again, alongside your Monostegotops and your Gigacalycephalus, while you wait until you have enough DNA for this thing, this Alma Mater, and this thing, the Dracoceratops. Oh my god, the Erliphosaurus. This guy's going in the musket category. Erliphosaurus, a tournament legendary creature. Erlikosaurus and Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus, you're gonna have. Erlikosaurus, well, if you win the tournament, you're gonna have. It doesn't cost a lot of DNA. It is very cheap. It is less good, I have to admit, than Cerazenosaurus. Okay, so maybe it's not a must get, but it's going to be a great because it's not outclassed. It's not nearly as outclassed as these things. Look at these pathetic carnivores like sitting here in the outclass category. It's not that bad. It is going to be okay, and you should probably get it if you can. Next up is Gorgosuchus, and Gorgosuchus I think is a must get because nowadays, like, this tier list is from a while ago, but Gorgosuchus has a super hybrid, Megalosevia. Gorgosuchus alone is pretty amazing. Can we please take a look at the fact that it only costs 42,000 DNA, and it's like, I think it's alone, it's like the 3rd best amphibian hybrid in the game. So yes, I mean, amazing. It's going in musket because obviously it has a super hybrid. The next creatures we're looking at, I mean, we're almost at the end, guys. We have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 more to go. Iguanosuchus, an investment. It's a good sweeper, however, it does cost a lot of DNA, similar to Dracoceratops, but it's not as good. Like, the attack isn't there. So yeah, in the investment tier it goes. I would put it in outclassed. I think I would put it in outclassed. It does kind of get outclassed by Dracoceratops. A very similar DNA cost, but just completely worse. Caprodactylus is the next creature we're looking at, and this is literally barely in the game. But I do say it's quite amazing. Look at these stats, they're good. I think in health wise it's absolutely great. It completely outclasses Cryolobagina. It is, I mean, it has good attack, but it costs 77,000 DNA, and it takes 2 of these guys. I mean, you can win the tournament, I reckon, but I would definitely say that it is an investment. The next creature, however, is not Metrophodon, into the musket category. Metrophodon just has so much attack that it doesn't matter it only has 5,600 health at max level. It has 5,200 attack. It doesn't cost that much DNA, and Metrophodon has so much attack that even into teams where they are full herbivores, right now, my level 10 Metrophodon, which I got for 75,000 DNA, I would rather have that killing the herbivores than a carnivore, because I have no carnivores that has more attack when buffed than Metrophodon when nerfed. That's just how amazing it is. Get this thing. It's not that expensive either. The next creature we're looking at is Ophthalmosaurus. There we go, Ophthalmosaurus and Diplosaurus. When was the last time Ophthalmosaurus had a tournament? It doesn't really matter. The point is, cost a lot, a whole ton, right? And its attack is mediocre because obviously we got a tank and we have a balanced, so it's not going to make anything with an amazing attack. Health is great, but I would have to say with 87,000 DNA, this thing's kind of outclassed. It's outclassed by the Gorgosuchus, and which will become the Megalocevia. It's outclassed by Baggysaurus. It is just kind of outclassed. You should probably not aim for this guy. And the next thing is going to be Pachygalosaurus. Tanky creature. I mean, it's not amazing. I don't think it's a must-get, but it is great. Pachygalosaurus, the only creature with like 18,000 health. It's the best health in the game. Its attack is kind of bad, but it only costs 77,000 DNA, which I mean, already outclasses so many other carnivores. It's a good creature. It's definitely not as worthwhile as getting a max Indominus and then maxing Indoraptor or Indoraptor Gen 2, but it is up there, and you should probably get it if you can. The next creature we're going to look at is Pteraquetzal. That's right, that's what it's called. This is a Pteraquetzal, and it doesn't cost that much DNA at only 52,000, and it has 10,000 HP and 1,800 attack. That's going to make it pretty much just a better version of this guy, better version of Krylo. That is going into the great tier. It's not amazing, obviously, because it doesn't have great attack. I think I base my creatures off of attack way more than health. I don't really care about health, but for how cheap it is and how much health it has, you are a great creature, which surprises me because I really thought you were going to be bad. The next thing we're going to look at is Scorpius Rex. Now, I believe there's no Scorpius Rex Gen 2 here. No, but Scorpius Rex is actually outclassed, and it's outclassed by Scorpius Rex Gen 2. I don't know where Scorpius Rex Gen 2 is. It's not here. Anyways, let's take a look at Scorpius Rex. Anyways, let's just compare these two up front. Scorpius Rex, it costs more DNA than Scorpius Rex Gen 2. That's the first thing. It has 300 more health, but it sacrifices 1,100 attack to get this health. Which, yes, absolutely means that it's just completely outclassed. It's also outclassed by every other carnivore. It's outclassed by Indoraptor. This guy has some merit, but apparently it doesn't exist in here. So there you go. Scorpius Rex Gen 2 just doesn't exist in this tier list, but if it did exist, it would be going in great. It's not a must-get, but it's probably similar to what Pachygalosaurus is. It's something that you can get if you really, if you want something pretty good. It is pretty good. 5,000 attack is definitely not shabby. It does kind of cost a lot of DNA, which holds it back though. So yeah, Scorpius Rex outclassed. Next thing, now this is the second Dodonanathus. Second Dodonanathus, it costs 61,320 DNA. It only has 1,000 extra health, and it has 2,000 less attack than Metrophodon. Needless to say, it costs a similar amount of DNA. It's outclassed. Not in the same tier as Caprodactylus, not in the same tier as Metrophodon, which is a must-get. And next up is Segnosaurus. Once upon a time, this Segno creature used to be the GOAT, the greatest, because it had such good attack and it doesn't cost that much. It costs less than Metrophodon. It's still great, but it is no longer a must-get because of the other creatures in it. Actually, we don't yet have a herbivore up there. So what herbivore is in the must-get? We gotta promote some. Yeah, if I want to promote some, then I have to promote the Stegoceratops and Monostegotops, because that's the only reason why Segnosuchus isn't in the must-get. Well, there you go. And speaking of herbivores, next up is going to be our final herbivore hybrid for today, Spinoceratops. It's quite similar in build to the Segnosuchus. It has a lot of health, it has a lot of attack. It kind of is expensive. Again, another herbivore that I would put in the investment tier. Costs so much, but if you can get it, it's gonna be quite good for you. Next thing is Tyrannolophosaur, and then Eudon. Now, Tyrannolophosaur is made from T-Rex Gen 2 and Dilophosaurus Gen 2. I would say that this is not worth it. It's completely terrible. Not because the hybrid is bad. The hybrid is decent. It doesn't cost that much DNA, and it's going to be a pretty decent hybrid. The only drawback is it costs a whole Tyrannosaurus Gen 2. Both of these creatures, first of all, have two hybrids. The Dilophosaurus Gen 2 makes the Dilophoboa, which is... I'm not going to talk about like non-Jurassic hybrids because, I mean, dude, who cares about those, right? But Tyrannosaurus Rex Gen 2 also makes Indominus Rex Gen 2, which just happens to make Indoraptor Gen 2, which is the best creature in the game. So that is why you should never get this, because it just, like, you should get the other hybrids instead. Next up is going to be Eudon. Now, Eudon, once upon a time, Eudon used to rule the world, but nowadays, Eudon is fairly mediocre. In fact, as a matter of fact, Eudon at the moment is actually outclassed, which is, it hurts to say because it's so cool and it was so good at one point. But I would rather just have Sarazenosaurus, and then when you have a lot more DNA, just go get one of these guys. Get this. So yeah, Eudon, it has lost its grip on the top. It used to be amazing. It still is amazing, I do have to say. But is going into outclassed here. And finally, the last creature that we're going to rank, Zalmonodon. Zalmonodon, 55,500, sorry, DNA. It's the same cost as Metrophodon. Actually, it's 10,000 less than Metrophodon. It has more health. It has a decent amount of attack. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, again, I think we should have made a middle tier, but it's a great hybrid, I would have to say. I mean, pterosaur hybrids aren't that bad after you move past these three. So there you go. There you have it. This is going to be my hybrid tier list. Let's zoom in, get a closer look, shall we? That is going to be my tier list. If you guys disagree with any pick, make sure to comment down below and make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in future streams and videos. Bye.